Three leaders lose their seats in the House of Commons. Political candidates win ridings by the narrowest margins. And the Liberals win a minority government. The Canadian federal election is over, and we're going to talk about it on this episode of Follow the Lead podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Valerie McLaughlin. If there was a theme to election night in Canada, it was this: political candidates winning by razor-thin margins. Obviously, this election wasn't your typical Canadian election, where one political party clearly wins, the NDP holds on to official party status, and the Bloc remains strong in Quebec. This usual election scenario is typical of election night, but it was thrown out the window. The 2025 election was definitely a two-party race between the Liberals and the Conservatives. On election night, results were slow in being announced, which is unusual. Usually Canadians know by 11 p.m. what kind of government they'll have the next morning. It took all day Tuesday for Canadians to get a clearer answer, and that's no criticism against Elections Canada. I think it speaks about the number of Canadians who voted and the number of tight races. I stayed up until midnight, which is late for me, before I threw in the towel and went to bed. By the time I went to bed, Mark Carney's Liberals were declared the winner, but it was unclear if he had a minority government or a majority. Many ridings were won by either party by the thinnest of margins. The riding of Terra Nova, the Peninsulas in Newfoundland, was won by the Liberal candidate by 12 votes. As of Wednesday morning, it appears Canada has a minority Liberal government. The magic number for a majority is 172 seats. Many pollsters were predicting a majority Liberal government, but apparently that didn't happen. So here's the seat count. The Liberals have 169 seats, the Conservatives 144, Bloc Québécois 22, the NDP 7, and the Green Party is left with 1 seat. Let's address the elephant in the room, the Conservatives. First, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre lost his seat in the riding of Carleton to Liberal candidate Bruce Vanjoy. Carleton had a record number of advanced voters and the longest ballot in the country, with more than 90 candidates listed. If you're new to the podcast and want more of a breakdown about Mr. Poilievre, check out episode 4 of the podcast entitled Don't Count Poilievre Out. Around week 2 of the election, I had an inkling that Mr. Poilievre was at risk of losing his seat. Why? Because he's built his success on having a good constituency, meaning he has been focused on his riding and the people who live within it. But when you're the leader of a major political party, running a national campaign, and have a political rival who has spent almost 2 years meeting voters and stakeholders, you can lose a seat in a riding such as Carleton. With that being said, don't count Mr. Poilievre out. I cannot see him giving up the leadership of the Conservative Party at this point in time, not after he was able to deliver results. And let me explain. Yes, the Conservative leader lost his seat. Yes, the Conservatives didn't win enough seats to form government. However, the Conservatives picked up 16 more seats and received 41.3% of the vote. The Conservatives outperformed poll projections. Throughout the election, I've mentioned 338 Canada several times. This website, along with other pollsters, were predicting a Liberal majority government with the Conservative seat count being 120 to 125. Mr. Poilievre's team outperformed expectations by picking up 16 seats, many of them in Ontario. Some of the races are tight. Brampton Centre, for example, there's 340 votes between the Liberal winner and the Conservative runner-up. Brampton West, which the Conservatives won, there's about a 900 vote difference between the new Conservative MP and the Liberal candidate. As for Mr. Poilievre, there's speculation that he'll run in a by-election. He'll have to approach a Conservative MP, likely one who sits in a very safe Conservative riding, ask them to resign so he can run. If he wins, he'll return to the House of Commons as the leader of the official opposition. And speaking of that role, Mr. Poilievre is no longer the leader of the official opposition, as he is not elected to the House of Commons. So if the speculation is true, it will be interesting to see what riding Mr. Poilievre runs in. He may return home to Alberta and run in a strong Conservative riding. If he wants to stay in Ontario, perhaps the riding of Algonquin-Renfrew-Pembroke is an option. The riding is a Conservative safe seat. It is currently represented by Conservative MP Cheryl Gallant, who won the riding back in 2000. Also, the riding is in close proximity to Carleton, so it wouldn't be a big jump for Mr. Poilievre to come into Algonquin-Renfrew-Pembroke. But this is totally me speculating, because if he was going to run anywhere, I can see him going back to Alberta, where he's from. Okay, enough with the speculation. It's really hard to say what happens next for the Conservative Party. Losing his seat forces Mr. Poilievre to the sidelines, and he's no shrinking violet. At this point, it doesn't look like the party wants to replace him as leader. He was able to deliver results. It may not have been a win, but the party was able to make inroads in the Greater Toronto area and pick up seats, including in Ontario. I doubt the party wants to spend money and time to have a leadership race at this time. The party has had 3 leadership races since Stephen Harper left office back in 2015. I need to clarify something that I said in my last podcast. I said in the last episode that Mr. Poilievre is the 3rd elected leader of the Conservatives. That is not exactly true. He's the 3rd elected leader since Prime Minister Stephen Harper left the position. In the last episode, I spoke about Mr. Poilievre having very few political allies. And it looks like this fight is shaping up to be a federal Conservative against the Ontario Progressive Conservatives. Jamil Jamani, a Conservative Ontario MP who won his seat on Monday night, lashed out at Ontario Premier Doug Ford on election night. I'll play a clip of CBC's David Commons' interview with Mr. Jamani.
You did used to work for him. I did. I'm speaking from experience. I tried to fix problems in this province, and he kept getting in his way and all his goons around him all the time. They wouldn't make anything better. And now we're seeing him because this guy's a political genius because he beat Bonnie Crombie and Stephen Del Duca. And now we got to sit around getting advice from him. No. He has taken the provincial Conservative Party and turned it into something hollow, unprincipled, something that doesn't solve problems. He's glad-handing with Chrystia Freeland, having coffees and lattes with Mark Carney. And I'm sitting here saying we need to be fighting for change and something new and something different, not being a hype man to the Liberal Party. Some would argue.
The second leader to lose his seat on election night was NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. And this was to be expected. The NDP leader and his party propped up Justin Trudeau's Liberals for about 2 years. And it's hard to campaign against the Liberals and criticize their policies when you've spent that time in the House of Commons ensuring that party remained in power. And Mr. Singh lost big. He came in 3rd place in his riding of Burnaby Central, losing to the Liberals. The NDP had a disastrous night in BC. Before the election was called, the party had 24 MPs, 12 of which from BC. When election night was over, they only had 3 seats in that province. And 2 of those ridings were won on thin margins. There are some longtime NDP MPs that are totally out, including Peter Julian and Nikki Ashton. neither won their seats. I have absolutely no idea where the NDP goes from here. It has slipped below 12 seats, meaning it's no longer has official party status within the House of Commons. Mr. Singh has resigned as leader. Obviously, the NDP will have to take a walk in the proverbial snow before making any decisions about its future. And the third leader to lose his seat was Green Party co-leader Jonathan Trudeau. He lost his seat in Quebec, and he has resigned his co-leadership. As for the Bloc Québécois, it lost seats to Liberals, which helped Mark Carney secure a minority Liberal government. The Liberals won. Yes, Mark Carney will stay on as Prime Minister. And that's all I'm going to say about the Liberals in this episode, because the post-election story is about the losers, not about the winning party. Wow, that statement was a little harsh, but there's lots of time to talk about the Liberals. Mr. Carney will have to decide when Parliament is going to resume, and I would figure that it's going to be sometime this summer, and what his cabinet will be like. So there's lots of time to talk about the Liberals. That's it for this episode. I want to thank all my listeners who are sticking by me and listening to my podcast. It just warms my heart that people are actually listening to me. So I'll see you on the next episode, and bye for now.